Hello. We finally doing it. I'm gonna wait for some folks to come on before I get started. Hello. How y'all doing? I'm excited to see y'all. I am gonna let some people log on because I know it takes us all a moment or two, but welcome whomever is logging on. Tonight I have so much in store for y'all, and I hope y'all are ready to just unwind and reload. That's what this is all about. So, yeah, I'm letting my folks log on. I did do my best with spreading the word on all social media platforms that I have. So, I hope y'all been able to see it through there and join. So, yes, okay. But while folks are logging on, I also want to be kind and courteous to my folks that I have here already. So tonight, I definitely want to do my best by serving y'all in this session. I know that I don't log on to my YouTube live as often as I'd like, because if it was up to me, I do this every single day because it's so fun. But when I do get the opportunity, I'm very mindful of how I engage and how I what I influence you all with, whether that be makeup or just a word or whatever it is. I'm just kind of mindful of that, and also your time. And so that is why I wanted to make sure that, regardless if folks are, logging on already, I'm going to acknowledge you all as I go and do my best with that. But tonight, I definitely wanted to address the purpose of doing this. So I wanted to do this tonight simply because I'm sure, especially for us Black and Brown folks, we are very aware of what's going on in our world around us. And it is so important that we are figuring out ways that we can take care of ourselves, where we can literally, like I said earlier, unload and reload, because we are impacted in so many different ways. We are expected to show up and support and still grieve and even bleed during this time, because we are hurt by the tragedies and the traumas that has been going on. With these, incidents of police brutality. And I know we're out here in the streets protesting and trying to make our voices heard and getting out there and voting. That's so important too. So I definitely know that in times like these, it is important that we learn how to show up and support each other, because we literally all we got. So this was just something that I had in mind, because I definitely am I'm very just grateful of the things that we're doing for each other and how we're showing up for each other. So literally just with folks posting about, Black businesses, whether we've known about them or we're just finding out about them, but us just sharing, what exists out there in the world and supporting those businesses. I 100% love that. And I think that is absolutely dope. And so, I'm a makeup lover, and for all the makeup lovers out there, I'm sure you understand the movement. So I definitely wanted to come on and not do just a regular video where you can go back at your own time, but I wanted to get up close and personal in something like this. And to share with y'all some of the products that I own that are, and I'll explain that, because yes, I know the title. Some may be questioning what I mean by Black owned and Black created. So I definitely know that we are very aware of a lot of Black owned products. Sometimes we're not. So I acknowledge that we're not always aware of what's out there that we're creating as Black creators. But on the other, and I put a spin to it, and I said I also wanted to just include some products that have been either Black influenced or Black created, because I definitely follow some lovely influencers here on YouTube who I've learned so many different tips about makeup from, and they have been actively doing some great influencing in the beauty industry. And so that is creating products, helping to bring awareness around the importance of providing shades for, people that aren't always included and haven't been included historically in the beauty industry. And so that is why I also wanted to pay, just kind of tribute to those folks with including them and saying like, yeah, I want to use some, Black owned products with this look. But also, y'all, like I know of some products that I actually own by Black creatives who have helped to create, these certain products. And so I definitely wanted to be mindful of that. And so I definitely have those tonight. So I know we still have folks that will still be logging on here, but I wanted to acknowledge the fact, like I said, that we are already on, and I wanted to, be mindful of time and all of that good stuff. So first, let's get into the products. So I know y'all ready to hear those, right? So as far as Black owned products, I do have some lovely Fenty Beauty products. So if you are not aware of Fenty Beauty, our sis Rihanna Riri was definitely on the bandwagon, and this is her company, what she's best known for in terms of makeup. I think she launched Fenty back in 2017, I want to say. And back then, y'all, I think this was the foundation which she launched. So this is her matte version of the Pro Filter Longwear Foundation. I know that there is, I want to say, a foundation that's geared towards like folks who don't have oily skin, but this is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. So it looks like this, and mine is all ratchet, y'all, so don't judge. But I will show you. It does come with a pump, and I've used this so much, and I loved it. I definitely did not get on the bandwagon. So when it originally launched, so I will acknowledge that. But I've been using this for a little while now, and I love it. And it is definitely a really, really good purchase. Along with the foundation, I also have here her Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. And so today I will be using those together. So you kind of get the best of both worlds of what this line can do, because I have two products of that line. So I'm super excited to show y'all those. Then since we are talking about Fenty, I will also show y'all one of my hands down favorite bronzers. Like when I tell you this is a bronzer for the books. But this is my favorite bronzer. And it's by Fenty, as you can tell. Oh, yes, that's us. But yeah, so fun fact, I am very new to wearing contour and bronzer. And if you don't know anything about that, that's typically where you will see that kind of defined area on your cheekbone. So when you turn around, you got some snatched cheekbones and it just looks really, really cute. But I haven't been doing that for too long. So, but Fenty has definitely been a staple. This has been a staple product of mine to help me feel more comfortable because especially, and I have to mention this, because of the shade. And like I said, y'all, my products are going to be a little ratchet looking because these are my personal products and I use them. So I use them often, but this color is the color that I use. And this one is called Mocha Mommy. And in particular, this bronzer is this is her Sunstalker Instant Warm Bronzer. And like I said, this is called Mocha Mommy. You can see there on the back. And yes, so this is the shade that it comes in. And this is wonderful for my skin tone. I think this really complements my skin complexion really, really well. And it's funny because at the time when I was in Sephora purchasing this, one of the workers there she was trying to show me a shade that was she thought was very fitting for me. We know sometimes when it comes to going to certain places to get foundation match, sometimes it doesn't always work out. But she tried, honestly, but the bronzer that she was trying was probably the color that was a little bit lighter than this one. And it was about my actual skin color. And for me, if I'm gonna wear bronzer, I don't want something that's so subtle to the point where I can't see it. I want to be able to see it because that's what you typically have when you do wear bronzer. So enough of my rambling about that, but that is my bronzer. We will be using that tonight. In addition to that, and like I said, we're still on the Fenty. So I do have one of Riri's, one of the Fenty Beauty Sun. This is the Stunna Lip Paint, and this one is in Uncensored. This is a really nice red, you guys, and it is a liquid lipstick. So this does dry down matte, and it is really, really pretty. So I'm hoping that we can get some of that going tonight. I do have some choices in terms of lips. So I wanted to acknowledge that. So I think that's just about what I have to show y'all tonight for Fenty. But let's move on to some drugstore products. So I know I try to have a range of stuff because I know that it's important that we can find this stuff, especially if we're interested, right? So tonight I have a lot of Black Radiance products. So if you've never heard of Black Radiance, they are a drugstore company that is typically sold in drugstores. I've been able to find them in certain convenience stores like Walgreens, CVS. I've even seen them be featured in Walmart a lot of times. I don't necessarily know if Target sells their products, but I'm more than certain that you can probably find their products, like, of course, online. But I've definitely been able to find them in the drugstore. And so if you are on the lookout, definitely try some of those places because they are a very affordable. When I say affordable, they're very, very like reasonably priced. I've even sometimes seen them in like dollar stores like Dollar General, Family Dollar. Let me backslide. Uh, Family Dollar, not necessarily, but Dollar General, yes. So, and their foundations also reflect shades that women of color are typically. So, us, folks on the deeper end, on the more dark end, they have a really nice spectrum of brown shades. So, some of their products that I have with me tonight is one of their pressed powders. I've used this for so long. I actually even started when I was in college using this. So this is Black Radiance. Like I said, they're pressed powder, and it comes in a little compact like this. And this is brand new, but I have used it before, so I can talk to it. But that's what it looks like. And the shade that I have is in Rich Mahogany. So I wanted to be able to tell your name so you also have a reference in case you're somewhere around my shade as well. And this product says to be oil-free, and it does have a matte finish. Also want to shout out that a lot of these products that I have tonight also recognize they are cruelty-free. So if you haven't seen some of the videos that I've been posting here on YouTube lately, I have recently taken that journey back down the vegan lane. So I've been very mindful of what I eat and all that good stuff. Makeup is one of those things that I'm still kind of on the fence about because I have so much makeup that's not vegan and I don't want it to go to waste, especially when I pay for a lot of it out of my own pocket. So you know how that is. So I am definitely still exploring though, and I've been able to find some makeup products that are vegan, and I'm really excited. So yes, Black Radiance products do say that they are cruelty free. So that's something I wanted to point out. I do have a new product that I wanted to show y'all here tonight, and this is by Black Radiance, and this is their Luminous Dry Oil Moisturizer, and it looks like this, and it comes in this forget what you call these kind of like bottles, but it does come in a little glass bottle, and you get how much in it? I know it has to say it somewhere on here. This looks like it could be like, oh, it does have a sticker on the bottom. Okay, let me close it. So this has 1 fluid ounce. And it also says that it's cruelty free. But catch this, you guys. So this is a very new product, like I said. And I wanted to try it for you all tonight on a very clean canvas. So I don't currently have a moisturizer on. I did wash my face. So if I look kind of ashy, we about to get there, girl. Like, trust me, we about to get there. But this product I will use as my moisturizer. So it does say that it is cruelty free, but on the in addition to that, it also says that this product is vegan and gluten free. And so I don't know if this is like a more recent product that Black Radiance has come out with, but I think it's pretty dope that they are featuring like, products that are more natural and things like that. And they're trying and showing an effort. And so I really, really appreciate that. And especially with me being so like new to trying some of their stuff. I really, really like this. So this is once again the Black Radiance Luminous Dry Oil Moisturizer. And I got this because not too long ago I did watch a YouTuber who was kind of sharing that she does use something like an oil that's not too like oily underneath like a matte primer. And that kind of gives her like that seal kind of dewy but matte finish. And I really like the idea. So I wanted to try that for myself. So there's that. In addition to all this good stuff, I have some concealer sticks and some blushes that I wanted to show y'all. All of these products I've tried myself. So these are not like things that I just bought. I've definitely had these in my stash. It's just that dry oil that I've had more so, that I just got more so recently. I also by Black Radiance have I have their HD corrector, their concealer. This is their True Complexion HD corrector. And so this I have in the shade, if I can find it. Uh, this is in medium, I want to say, because I do remember when I bought it that it said the name. So this is in medium, and it looks like this. This I will be using as my under eye concealer. And it's definitely much lighter than my skin tone. So if you are checking for the color of this, I believe it's in medium. In addition to the face, I also have some lip products. So I have a gloss by Black Radiance, and this is one of their perfect tone lip glosses. And the one I have is an Urban Nude. Love, love, love this gloss. It gives you a little bit of pigment, like a nude, like a pinky nude pigment, and I think it's so pretty. And then I also have one of their matte. Their perfect tone matte lipsticks, and the one that I have is in Doll Face, and it's like this really pretty mauvey pink. So I'm gonna see what works tonight, y'all, especially since I have options. And like I said, I do have a variety of things, and I think lastly, in terms of face products, I have the Black Radiance True Complexion contour palette, and I've had this for a while now. This is one of my first like contour kind of products that I use that really, really helped me to become more comfortable. And then I went over to the Fenty world with using their Sunstalker bronzer, and it looks extremely ratchet, y'all. So you really can't judge me for this one because I've had this one the longest, but here we are. I've used it so much, you can definitely tell. But I still have this because, as you can see, I still have a bit much of the highlighter. And then I also have the Sculpting shade, which I've at times used to set my under eye concealer because it's a really bright, like yellow undertone powder. And I thought even though it's like, I feel like with makeup, you can do whatever you want. It's not necessarily like a baking powder, but I feel like it worked. So that is why I still had that. And I'll be using this tonight specifically for my highlighter. Whew, mouthful. But we got some other goodies here, y'all, in terms of Black owned products. So for whenever I do put on a lip product, I definitely have to make sure that my lips are moisturized. These are just some like balms that I often have sitting around my little makeup station, and it's not intended, but I almost just left them there because I'm just like, I don't want to move them because what happens when I need them? So I just leave them around. And just so happen they work really nicely for what I'm going for. So I have here, this is a peppermint shea butter lip balm, and this is by TGIN, which thank God It's Natural is the actual company name, but for short, they're TGIN. And if you've heard anything about them, they are more known for making natural hair products, but obviously they have other products along the line. But yeah, this is pretty good. This is really good. And this I actually got like in a little sample gift thingy. And I will actually repurchase this like on my own because I really like it. It is a natural lip balm, like I said. Um, and it is 100% natural, organic, it has the organic ingredients, and it's also petroleum free. And so I really do like this. It doesn't give off like a very overpowering like peppermint, um, like you know I don't know what's the word, but it doesn't come off too powerful, especially with having like that peppermint in it. Oftentimes we might shy away because we see it when it's just like, I don't want my lips to be tingling or my skin to be tingling, but it doesn't do that. Works really nicely. So that's the first one that I have. And then I have the Shea Moisture Superfruit Multivitamin Shea Butter Vegan Lip Balm. And this is more of a lip gloss, I would say, than a balm because it definitely comes off a lot more glossy, but you can tell that it is natural just because of the appearance. So I'll put a little bit on the back of my hand. It looks more like a gelatin based product, but I'll show you. So yep, definitely glossy. So not so much of a balm like the TGIN is, but it still works and definitely leaves my lips. Both of these products definitely leave my lips very moisturizing. Right now, I have on the peppermint shea butter lip balm. So as you can tell, very subtle and just enough that I need for moisturizing my lips. So, in addition to all of this good stuff that I just went over, I know I talked your head off, but obviously that's what we're here for to learn about what I have to show, right? But I also have some goodies that, like I said, are not necessarily Black owned, but were Black influenced, either a Black influencer on YouTube or Instagram helped to create these products. So the first one that I wanted to show you guys is this really pretty bomb eyeshadow palette. And if you've ever heard anything about the company Makeup Revolution, I believe they are based in, yes, London, says it on the package. But Tammy X, if you ever watch any of her videos on YouTube or Instagram, I love her. Like she does an amazing job with, in particular, like color eyeshadow. That's what she's really well known for. She does an amazing job, you guys. And if you've never checked her out, I will definitely recommend that you do, especially if you are someone who's on the bandwagon of learning color makeup. I think she's amazing and she's a really good person to learn from. I'm even still learning from her. Um, I feel like no matter how great I get at makeup, I'm always going to be able to learn something. But she's amazing. And so this is one of the mini palettes that she has because she just actually got enough. She just partnered with Makeup Revolution once again and just launched a new palette, which I didn't even know about this, but I think she just posted a video today, which is so amazing. And I'm great. I'm proud of her. I'm loving what she's doing and got going. But this is her, uh, it's obviously called the Tammy X Revolution palette, but it's her Tropical Carnival shadow palette. And so she based this, and she on her video that she does the review over this palette talks about her story behind making it. And so a lot of the shades and her kind of like reference for this was just basing it on Carnival, something that a big event that's widely done in the Caribbean. And so I love the fact that she was able to have that platform and create it and base it on such an amazing event. I've never been, but I've heard it's really amazing. And so this is what the colors look like. Look at those. They're very vibrant, pretty, and you get such a really like versatile, diverse color palette. You have your shimmer shades, you have your matte shades, you pretty much have every color of the rainbow. Um, you have the deeper shades, you have the lighter shades, and so it's just an overall well thought out palette. And I am so much in support of the work that she does. So you guys, I'm raving about this, but I'm telling you, like this is what she does, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So Makeup Revolution's products in particular. Just a little bit background about them. Most of their products are vegan and cruelty free. So, I'm definitely happy about that because I have a base to go from and run to that I know of. I've seen most of Makeup Revolution's products sold in Ulta, but you can also purchase them online. Another great fact about them, they're very reasonably priced. So you would definitely run into drugstore prices with Makeup Revolution's products. So this palette probably ran me $15. I know for some people they may still say that that's a stretch, but when you compare this to like a Morphe, which I love Morphe, think their products are definitely amazing. Morphe products for this palette, if this was Morphe, you probably would be paying 2 times that. So I'm just saying, Makeup Revolution does give off a really good bang for what they put out, and their products are very affordable. Um, so enough raving about this, but you guys, I definitely will be using this today to create an eyeshadow look for you guys. Then secondly, definitely want to talk about this foundation. Although I'm not going to use it today, I am still going to rave about it because it is worth it. And I actually tried this, I believe last year when this came out. But if you've ever heard of NYX, or for like I like to call them just NYX, but NYX products, you can definitely find these products most often in like drugstores. Target definitely sells them. Walmart for sure. CVS, Walgreens definitely sells them, but their products are amazing. So, fun fact about this particular foundation. So, this is the Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation by NYX. And if you're interested, the shade that I have is in Mocha. And it looks like this. Comes with a pump, obviously, as you can tell. And y'all, this is a fresh bottle. Like, I got this not too long ago because I did have to feature this in one of the videos that I did here on my channel, which it was basically talking about foundations for women, Black women. So if you have not checked that out, you're missing out. Check it out. But this particular foundation, one of my all-time favorite YouTubers, Alyssa Ashley, she is very known. She is amazing. She is like up there. She is a very good makeup influencer here on YouTube, and she actually helped with the shade range of Can't Stop, Won't Stop. And I definitely am giving her the bare, not even the bare minimum, but not probably even explaining the full story. But what I do know is that she definitely helped with the launch of this particular product. They came out with a definite wide range of shades. And I know when they did, and I feel like Walmart still has like the case that they come in where you will basically be able to see the palette of shades that they came out with, and they even feature like pictures of the folks that would have the particular foundation shade, which was really good for people to be able to reference, especially for us folks that are on the deeper end. We know that oftentimes when we go to the drugstores, we have a hard time finding our route foundation. And so I love that she did that, and that they definitely were mindful, even in like the marketing products, of definitely portraying like we're trying to be more accessible so folks can, have that ability to find their right shade and all of this and that. And so I definitely appreciate the work that she did with this. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it and I didn't feature it here on the live tonight. Although, like I said, I will not be doing the makeup look, including this particular foundation, but I definitely wanted to shout this out, especially I know that I'm doing a makeup look using this particular product, which is more high end. It's still a great product, but I know I also have to be mindful. Everybody might not be able to want to rock with a more high-end product. So if you are wanting to, save some coins and do that, sis, I'm all for you. Definitely check this foundation out. This is more affordable. I believe this retailed for about $14.97, I believe. I could be wrong. I definitely could, but this is more on the affordable end for sure. And it lasts a really long time, as you can tell. It does have a pump, so that means you can control how much of this you need to use. And even better, it's a full coverage foundation. So, yeah, that's everything you need to know. But you guys, that is the foundation, the second foundation that I have here that I wanted to chat about. In terms of the rest of the products that I have here, now they're not a lot. I just have like a powder, well, two powders, my under eye setting powder and my face powder. I have mascara, eyeliner, and that's really it. Those are not Black owned, but I wanted to be transparent and tell y'all what all that I was using. They were not black owned or black influenced. But those are what I have tonight that I'm gonna have to use for the sake of doing this look successfully for y'all. So I definitely wanted to be transparent about that. But we're not gonna credit them. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it's all in light fun. But we're about to get into the look. I know y'all like finally. No, just kidding. All right, so we're gonna do the eyes first because I feel like with everything else, it'll just come together. So, sis, pull out the popcorn, get ready, and let's do some makeup. Now, I hope that y'all are okay. The fact that I don't have music going here in my little studio that I got going. It's because I don't know how YouTube is, but I feel like it is so much more like where they would copyright you for whatever reason on YouTube. So for that purpose, I'm not playing music in the background. So I'm sorry, especially if y'all like, Kayla, put on some music, I hope that this makeup is more entertaining. I just don't know how YouTube is. I know I could put the I do not own the rights. I just don't know. I feel like they very finicky with a lot. So y'all, please forgive me for that. I know. I'm hoping that I'm talking as much that I'm just not even, bringing aware that I don't have music on. But all right, so let's get into it. All right, so let's start this look off. First, I'm going to be doing a purple shimmery look today. Why am I doing purple, you ask? Well, purple is it is my favorite color. I love all shades of purple from the lavender to the plum. I love purple. I just do. I think it is so pretty and so versatile, and it's a virtuous color. See how I did that? Yes, love it. So I'm cleaning off my brushes here, and I wanted to point out that I am gonna be using like not so many brushes tonight, and I hope that that brings awareness that you don't have to have a bunch of tools, girl. Like, use what you have and go with that. Like, trust and know that you can do so much with like one brush. I've had to learn that because I've seen it be done, and I'm passing on that recommendation. Like, don't think you have to go out and buy a slew of makeup brushes, especially if you are not there yet with just makeup yet. Buy the bare minimum and buy brushes that are very affordable for you, and that's what you want. And yeah. All right, y'all. So, like I said, I am going to be doing a purple shade. So while I get started with this, I, of course, have some questions tonight that I wanted to engage y'all in. And if you feel comfortable, definitely answer these. And if you just feel comfortable sitting here relaxing and watching me, do whatever you feel comfortable tonight. This is not to force anybody to do anything, because this is intended for healing and intended for us to just have community. And so in this moment, do what you feel is best. I just only invite you to share in whatever it is that I do here. And so I hope that you do what's most comfortable for you. But if you don't mind, for those of you that are here and we're in this community, if you don't mind dropping in the chat, just this, and I'll even share myself to you. Just what are some ways that you have been practicing self-care during this time, whether it's been just related to COVID or related to any of the incidents that we've been witnessing here, but just share. What are some ways that you have been practicing self-care? And if you've only been doing one thing, and no matter what it is, I don't care. I'm not here to judge you. Like, if it works for you, it's what it is. Self-care. Like, if it's working for you, then who can judge you for that, right? So yes, y'all, that is my first question. Like I said, I am going to answer that. I'm not just going to invite you and not say anything. So if y'all can, just answer that in the chat. Just drop it in the chat. But for me here lately, in terms of like what I've been doing for self-care, obviously I've been sharing with literally the world that I'm going vegan. And so I've definitely been more mindful of my health. And so trying to take care of myself and paying attention to what I eat. But I've also just been trying to take care of myself in a holistic manner. So just financially, physically, mentally, come on, somebody, emotionally, relationally, just making sure that I'm, assessing the relationships and pouring into those relationships, and all that good stuff and managing them well too. Um, but what did I say? Relationally, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, for sure. Like I've definitely always turned to God, and I know like prayer and just depending on God is one of the most closest things and immediate things that a lot of us have been doing. And so I encourage you, especially, to continue to do that. There's no greater way. And if you are definitely not into God and spirituality, religion, any of that, then I acknowledge that, and that is all right. If that is, what you choose. So there's no forcing anybody to, whatever. But in terms of me and I definitely have been, spending that time with God and, honoring, Him. And I encourage anyone else that's in the same boat, definitely continue to include him because like we are definitely going to need something more greater than us to handle the burdens. We cannot bear these things alone on our own. And so I am not encouraging anybody to walk this journey alone. Like, find him and, you know, give it all to him. But yes, so I've definitely been doing that, taking care of myself holistically. I've also been doing a lot of journaling. Y'all, I'm just like, ugh, I'm in love with journaling. Like I've done journaling my entire life, since I was literally like probably before middle school, honestly. I've always journaled, and I was one of those kids that I was like so obsessed to the point with journaling, and it was so like top secret. I wanted the journals with like the locks on them. So I'm just like, fam, you're not getting in, y'all not finding nothing. So, but yeah, I've always journaled, and so that is something that I found very helpful and useful for me during this time. And just in general, I've also tried to keep like a personal journal, but I've recently added a professional journal, so I have multiple journals now, because I feel like if there's no space in my life that I'm going to choose to not take care of, and that's the point. Like I have to take care of myself holistically. Then that means that I'm finding a way to take care of myself in all realms of my life, whether that's my personal life, my professional life, whatever. Like I'm finding ways to show up for myself more in those places. And so that is why I've chosen to get a professional journal. So it's like if there's things when heavy on me when I'm working, like I'm releasing it and I'm not holding those things in. I'm choosing to put those things, out of me so that I can, gain more clarity and become more just balanced and whatever that could be. So that is my whole spiel. I just went off, but I hope that was inviting. And if you all, like I said, want to share some things that you've been doing, definitely feel free, as I get started with this look. So all right, you guys. So I'm going into the palette, and I am picking up this shade, and it's called Girlies, and it is so pretty. And for those of you that are logging on, the palette that I'm using is Makeup Revolution's Tammy X Tropical Carnival Shadow palette. This is created by Tammy X. She has a Instagram page. She does a lot of short like videos on there, and also here on YouTube. And I love her. She's a great influencer. She does a lot of great looks around uh, color. So she's a lot of color in her looks. So really, really pretty, as you can see by her palette. All right, so I am taking my little fluffy brush. It's like a fluffy blender brush here. And I took a little bit of the pigment on that brush on the tip. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on like my favorite. I try not to have favorite eyes, but my right eye is just where I feel like I do the best of my work on. So I'm going to start on my right eye. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the outer V of my eye, and I'm just literally going to pat that on. I'm not necessarily swiping or I'm not wiping or blending anything in yet. I'm just packing that color on first because I really want to work it in and have that color come out really popping. And so I'm just patting it on. This is actually a technique by Tammy herself, and so that is why, I have to shout her out because she's taught me well. So now that I have that color packed on as much as I need, I'm then going to just lightly, slowly just start to use very soft motions and work that right into my crease. And as I said, I really want to be gentle with this so that I don't disturb that color payoff. So I'm just really working this in very softly into my crease. And if I need to add extra color, you definitely can. Because right now it's going nowhere. It's just packing this on. So it's not disturbing any of the colors. So I add just a couple more layers of that. And then I'm just going to continue to just blend it into my crease. All right. So though that's just the first color, we will be adding more. So sit tight. So what I'm now doing, as I showed you on one eye, I'm definitely going to do it again so you see it. And I'm just going to work my way. Um, just going to try to do my eyes at the same time so that I can finish on time. So I'm once again just packing that on, starting on my outer corner of my eye. And I really like this technique because it gives you the ability to have a seamless, well blended crease shade with your outer corner shade. So now with this, as you've seen, I'm trying something different and I'm not, instead of wiping, I'm just going to pat this into my crease. And I know that's also one of the things that I've seen Tammy do as well. So I'm just patting that in instead of like swiping or like rubbing. And that really gives you a really nice, subtle kind of application where it's not all over the place. Um, so that's really good enough. I'm just going to go back on my right eye now and try to do a little bit of that so I can, because I see the color is kind of less dim, if you can kind of tell. Um, it's a little bit more pigment on this eye than the right eye. So I'm just going to go over that, what I've already done, and just pat that in and not wipe it, but pat it in. And although this is like a purple pigment, it's more like a magenta, I would think. But I feel like that's still a part of like a pinkish purple. I don't know. Y'all correct me. It's okay. All right. So there we have our first color. So now what I'm going to do is cut my crease for this look. So I'm going to get out my blender brush. I'm sorry, this is my little flat concealer brush. This is often my little brush that I use to clean up my brows with. So I'm going to use this today. And I'm going to take that HD Corrector by Black Radiance. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this onto this shade because, like I said, you can do whatever it is that you feel that you want to do with your products. They're just not, they don't just have one use. And this is still a concealer, so this is fine. But typically, when you do cut your crease, you do use like some form of a base, whether it's concealer, whether it's like a corrector, whatever that is. But normally for me, I've been using just my concealer. So I'm just going to take that on the tip of this brush. And what I'm going to do, I want to just really drag this in all over my eyelid basically, but also into my crease to kind of create that dramatic lid look. So what I'm going to do is just take this and I'm going to just place the brush right into where my eyelid folds. And so as I drag this into my socket, you can see that my lid folds right there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of place a little mark entire over my entire place that I'm going to put the shade. And so now that I have that there, I'm just going to go over that and just make it a little bit more cleaner. So I'm going to take a little bit of the concealer if I need to, not too much. You don't want to come out too cakey and disturb your shadow. So I'm just going to pat this on. This was just enough. This wasn't too much. And then what I'm going to do is just go and outline my little area that I just placed that so it is more cleaner. Just outlining it and creating a more cleaner line. So as I said, this is really dramatic. My lid normally just kind of like is where it's about that high up where you see that little line is. That's about where I would normally put my lid shade, but for a cut crease, it's a little bit more dramatic. So now to just kind of buff out the edges of that concealer, I'm just going to take my finger and just kind of blend that in with my finger so it's more like subtle and blend it in with the my outer corner. So that it just doesn't, you don't see that little harsh line there. That's why I would do that. It might not make that much of a difference, but it's enough is good enough. So I'm gonna do the same on my left eye. All right. Taking that concealer on the tip of my brush here. Once again, I'm gonna find my socket. And then just pat it on. But I also want to outline, create a nice crisp outline. So let's go around the edges and do that. And it definitely doesn't have to be perfect as long as you get uh, the point across with how you create your cut crease. Pat that in. All right. So now we're good. We have our concealer on for our cut crease. Just going to do the same. Just blend out those edges. All right. Now, what I want to do, because I want to set that concealer just like I would any other concealer, I want to set it with just like my powder that I usually set with my under eye. So I'm just going in with this Makeup Revolution Bacon Powder. And this is like a really deep yellow shade. And that's actually what it's called, deep yellow. So I'm just taking this on like a little fluffy eyeshadow brush and just patting over that concealer with this powder. And this is just going to set it in place so that my shadow can go on a lot more smoother. Because I've noticed that if you kind of don't set it, later on you might find that your eyeshadow starts to crease or separate. You don't want that, especially if you want it to last all day. So I'm just once again setting this eye the same. If you need to add any extra, which I will do that. Uh, all right. It's my little pupper. All right, so now that we have our cut crease going, we're now going to move on to my lid shade. Um, and I'm going to take my little shadow brush here, which is pretty big. Hey, mommy, how you doing? Welcome to the show. So I'm going to go in using my first shimmer shade because this is more of a purple. I'm going to try to apply a method. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try to just go in using this lavender shimmery shade right here. And this is called Soka. So, Soka, there we have it. It's really, really pretty. So what I'm going to try to do is just apply this dry and not spray it. I've done this before with the shimmery shades in this palette, and they are beautiful. Like if you haven't, like obviously these colors are pigmented enough; they're very good quality, and so just applying these dry hasn't really worked out. Because sometimes I've like had to spray shimmery shades because they're not showing up as well. But with these, they're pretty good. So I give Tammy the props. So I'm just gonna go in and take enough of the shade onto my brush. I've taken enough. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just pat this in. And what I'm gonna try to do is cover my entire area. As I said, this is a purple look that we're going for, so I'm going to work this all over. A really dramatic purple look. All right. And as you can see, it is coming out just fine. I don't have to spray it. You can see that it's obviously shimmery, and that's what I love about these colors and this pigment. So I normally with a cut crease have to just pack this in to make sure that I get all of it because obviously it's more dramatic. So if you have to continue to go in, feel free to do that so that you get enough of the pigment onto your lid. And that is what I'm going to do because I don't want it to I don't want my concealer to start seeping through. I want it to really cover that area. So I'm going to apply as much as I need. Still kind of seeing that concealer. So I'm just going to go in continuously. All right, that's what we're looking like. It's really pretty. Really, really pretty. All right, get the point now from that eye. And I'm just going to move on, do the very same thing to my other eye. And I am surprised that I didn't have to clip up the front of my hair, but just took my hair down. I did a braid out. And I love braid outs. I love that they really, for one, show my length. So that's why I really do love it. And fun fact, because I mentioned it, I did wash my hair last night, and to accomplish this look, I used all black owned products to do that. Black owned hair products. Right. All right. We're looking pretty good. All right. So I think we have enough layerage. I said layerage. I don't know if that's a word. I heard this saying not too long ago about words. It's not words. It's a word today. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more just because I don't want to trust it too much and I didn't add enough. So I'm doing that to this eye and I'm also gonna do it to my other eye. And also to avoid, that problem of having too much concealer on. A thin layer of that concealer is enough, and that's what I ultimately recommend so that you don't put too much, that it's not disturbing your shadow. But I'm not saying that it did that to the shadow, but just a tidbit. So that's our eyes, y'all. So far, we are going to come back to them. So now we're going to move on to the face. So as I said, I'm going to moisturize first using this Luminous Dry Oil. So I'm just going to take the, I have yet to remember what you call these little things, but because it is a oil, I'm going to have to work really fast in applying this. I've seen a lot of other people just apply their oils as is, so I'm doing the same. So I'm just going to go in. And this is a dry oil, so it doesn't come off sticky. I have tried it. It doesn't come off sticky or anything like that. It comes off really nice. And it dries down as it gives off with this name. So just going to continue to moisturize, and I want to make sure that I get all that oil that dripped down my nose. Making sure I get my little under my chin, my forehead. I have a huge forehead, y'all, but I love it. And it's beautiful. I've actually grown into my forehead also because when I was younger, I don't know, I felt like it was so much more bigger, but I think over time I just gained the confidence. And that's honestly what we have to do is, not condemn our features. Like if you have any part of your body that you're not satisfied with, you know, don't allow those negative thoughts and feelings dictate how you feel about yourself. We have to learn how to have that self confidence. So I am continuing to work this in. And you definitely don't have to use a lot of like oil if you are going to choose to use this. So that is my hope and my plan when using this product, especially I have oily skin, so I can't use too much. Otherwise, my little look will be done. It'll be looking like somebody threw literal grease on my face. So I can't chance it, especially in the summertime, especially. All right. Y'all, I'm just continuing to rub it in because I'm like paranoid that there are places that I feel like I'm not getting. So I'm just double checking. All right. So we pretty much have our oil on our face. Now it's time to move on to the primer. So I'm just going to wipe my hands off just a little bit. Put that over there. So for the primer, like I said, today we will be using the Pro Filter, True Matte Pro Filter Mattifying Primer by Fenty. As you can tell, I definitely have used this quite a lot. The foundation is probably just as much as this, but I can't see that through the bottle. So, but it's nonetheless still good. So I'm just going to apply my primer. Took about a pump and a half maybe of this. This is a very thin product. That's what I will say. So it's very, when you rub it in, sheer. And that's what you want your primer to be. You don't want it to like rub in. As you can see, it came off white. You don't want it to like rub in white. So um, it's a very like it's creamy, but it's not too thick of a product. So that's what I like about it. I just wish I have been able to like fully see it like in a matte form. Um, because I don't feel like I've seen that. But I've always used this primer underneath the foundation, and the foundation is matte itself also. So I never really see if it's an issue because I use it and also the foundation, which are both matte products or products that were matte. So that's probably why. So now I'm going in with my foundation. I told y'all I was looking kind of ratchet, but I'm going to not well, I could. So I'll try to just pour it, just pump it off onto my face, but I have to move quickly. And that's also something that I have to do anyway with this product because I found that it does kind of dry a little fast. So have it onto my face, and I'm going to take my what is this little airbrush complexion. This It's called the Airbrush Complexion Foundation Brush by Eco Tools. I really love the shape of this. It's very rounded, and I think it's just really nice. So I'm going to spread this out. Like I said, this foundation does tend to dry pretty fast for me. But maybe using this dry oil along with the primer, what I'm noticing is not drying as fast. So that might actually be the trick to not, have that happen on me. But this is a full coverage foundation. And as you can see, it's covering all of my blemishes. So definitely you can see that it's full coverage. Um, and it'll last pretty long. I'm not surprised it is a high end product, so I can expect that its formula is set up that way. But it does last all day. Um, how I found my shade, I want to touch on that. So I do believe that I like with all products, I usually do like reviews. I look through reviews first before I just go out and purchase items. And then I also like try to watch reviews of women that I think my shade is closest to. Or I can kind of like use their shade as a kind of like a gauge to determine my shade. So that is one of the things that I do. I know you can also go to Sephora and they will color match you and all of that. And I don't know how that will work since COVID has hit. So I know a lot of people, of course, are choosing to purchase things online more so. But you can also, like I said, try to watch videos on YouTube of women who, have maybe a color like a shape that's most closest to you. I know sometimes that may not always be realistic, but also too, there is a website where you can find your foundation shade based on foundations that you may have purchased before. And I think there's also a little task that will help you still find your foundation even if you've never like or you don't remember like your foundation shade or a foundation or even ever even had like a particular foundation shade because you just never tried. So let me find that real quick because so important and I don't know it off the top of my head. So website. And Alyssa Ashley, I know, recommended it. Foundation. So I'll drop it in the comments. I've used it before myself And I know it helped me to kind of gauge my um, say, but yes, I found out about that website first through Alyssa Ashley here on YouTube, and I thought it was pretty cool. Now I'm going in with my little, once again, the Black Radiance HD concealer, and so now you will see more of what the color looks like on top of that foundation. So as you can see, it's definitely a couple shades brighter than my skin tone. I thought when I was purchasing this that this was going to be a little close to my skin tone, like close to my skin tone or the exact, shade of my skin tone. But I was so wrong because when I saw the actual shade, I was like, yeah, that's definitely too light. Good thing I didn't try to like get this to clean up around my brows because I would have been looking a hot mess. And I usually don't like to like use concealers to clean up around my brows that are too light because I don't want that halo effect around my eyebrows. Like I want them to look nice and blended and neutral. So, but I am creating like an upside down kind of, sort of, kind of. But this is a creamy base product. Oh, and I'm also going to get above my lip here. All right. Now I'm going to take a beauty blender. I like to use the pointed end to blend this in. I just think that if it's really comfortably right in like my inner corner or just underneath my eye, period. And you can also use under eye concealer to clean up your shadow, like your eyeshadow, if the shape didn't come out like it's crisp. And also eyeliner, which I did not apply yet, but I will get to it, promise. And if I need to clean up, I will do that. All right. All right, y'all. So with that first question about self-care, definitely hope that when I spoke up that that was kind of give us some ideas or at least helpful or just some conversation. My next question, and I'll even answer this too, is what is something that has made you happy lately? I know that is so like counselor, like I'm not a counselor, promise. I definitely went to school and got a professional counseling degree, but in education, so I can work in education. Um, but I did not go for a counseling degree to go and be a professional counselor. But so yes, what is something that has made you happy lately? For me, something that has really made me happy lately is being able to spend time more with my little pupper, my little dog that y'all heard earlier. And I say that because I know that normally when COVID was not in effect, I worked so much, and it's not to say that I wasn't home with her because I definitely was. Like saw her every single day. Only worked about I worked 7.5 hours a day, but most of that time when I was working, of course, she was in the house and just alone by herself. And sometimes I would try to leave like the TV on to kind of provide, some kind of comfort. But I'm like, she's a dog, so that probably wasn't comfortable for her at all. She was just probably like, just get back here already. But yeah, so like it's been really cool that I've been able to just spend more time with her during this time and be around her. And I definitely felt that she's felt the support too, because she'll like she's always been all up under me, like around the house. She would just follow me around. And I feel like dogs do that to their owners anyway. But she just she's very loving. And super protective, and I feel like you need that. Like that's why I have you, baby girl. That's why we got you. So, but yeah, so definitely spending time with my dog and being able to just take care of her you know, the walks even were like kind of all over the place for her. So being able to take her out more, and not to say that I wasn't doing that before either, but just knowing like she gets to go out a lot more because, it's one of the things that, she can get during this time. So now I'm going in using just my favorite eyeliner that I've always used. And this is by Elf, and this is their Jet Black Liquid Liner. And no, this is one of those products. This is definitely one of those products that's not Black owned. But we talked about that already. All right. All right, but I'm just going to create a little wing line. Um, do I have? Can I use this? Sure can. Success. Now, my most, this is my harder eye to do. I don't know why, but I've gotten better. Like I was not even able to create like a straight line before. And I'm just going over it because, it didn't come out as pigmented. All right, Kaela. All right, so there's the wing liner for you. Um, and I think a wing is just so go-to for me. I definitely feel like a wing liner just fits my eye shape and everything. Just love it. So now I'm going to set my under eye concealer using that same baking powder that I used earlier, that deep honey. And to do that, I'm going to take my little small fluffy brush here, dip into that, and just pat that in. And this just helps to set that so that that also does not move and is good to go for the rest of the time that I need this. On. The very same thing to the other side. All right. Now that we got that together, I now want to move on to bronzing. Well, contouring. I feel like bronzing, contouring, those terms are so interchangeable, but it's like which is which. But I definitely feel like, I'm learning, but contouring is more of um, that creamier base where you actually create the shape and you just use bronzer to set the contour. That's my closest explanation I can get you. But I'm going in and using one of my favorite, definite favorite, more like creamy contour sticks, and this is by Black Radiance. It's obviously all beat up because I use this so much, but I love this. It's actually their concealer stick, but I love the shade. The shade is really, really pretty, and I think this also complements my skin tone so well. It's not too dark. It's like really like dead on, but it's still a little darker than me and a little bit more redder too, which I think I really do like that. And it sets well with that Fenty Beauty. So this I can definitely see like just keeping, along my little journey or just in my stash because it's just so good. So I just took a couple swipes. The quickest way, and I like to show people this, especially if you are new to wearing contour, because I know this helps me so much to kind of like gauge where to place the product. Just make a like a little side kissy face and just squeeze, and then you can definitely see where that cheekbone lands, and then I like to start closer to my hairline and then just go over that area. So mm, and some people like to do it a little bit above. Do what makes you happy. So, what I've been doing a lot lately, and I have not done this before, but I'm really loving this, is just blending out my contour using a beauty blender. Never done that before, but if I do it with concealer, I just figure why don't I try to do it with my contour? And it's really been working out. So, because this is more of a cream based product and you wet your beauty blender to activate it, it works out well. So, I'm just blending this in. Okay. And the very same thing on this side. That color is just everything. Mhm. All right. All right. So we have our contour applied. Now I want to set my entire face. And to do that, I am going in with another Makeup Revolution product. This is their bacon powder, and this is in deep dark. And I have this in a little ratchet form. So y'all go with me. Don't judge me. But because the top of this is so small, I had to put it in something bigger so I can get to the product. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to plug up my Mac so that it doesn't cut off. Um, but yes, this product is not black owned, like I said, but this is one of those products that I already warned y'all about. So don't judge me. But I have it in this little container here. Yes, I showed you. So now you know. Cat's out the box. But I'm taking my little fluffy brush here that I use to apply my all over face powder. And I'm just going to apply this all over. Mhm. Okay. And when I see my foundation, it definitely looks really nice. And I don't think that oil is showing up at all. So it definitely just seemed, it just blended and melted right in with that foundation. So I don't see any oil popping up underneath. It definitely does give my skin like that texture of like that dewy feel, and I can see what Tammy was talking about. So I really do like that. But it still is not too much and not like overpowering my like matte foundation. So I think that that is really, really good. So I have that going. Now I want to go back to the eyes real quick so I can finish off and just have a 360 nice seamless eyeshadow look. So I'm gonna go back into that girlies color, which was the shade that we applied in our crease. So this little shade right here. And I'm taking this small little eye crease brush. It's almost like a pencil-like shape, and I'm just going in, and this is perfect to fit right under my waterline. So I'm just going to take that and apply that right on my waterline. Okay. Right. And then I'm going to do the same to my other eye. Right. This just helps finish off that shadow. So love it. So now our eyes are good to go as far as the shadow. So I want to go back to the face and I'm going to pick up my bronzer, y'all. One of my favorites. And I'm just going to take this big fluffy angled brush here that I have by Eco Tools. This has been perfect. It fits perfectly right into the shape that I am going for, and using more so like an angled brush for bronzer has really helped me. So just going to go right over that area and apply this. As you can see, it's pretty close to that contour stick that I used that in color, and gave my cheeks a little bit of that brown back. And it's so pretty. Just really gives a nice color in the middle of my face, and I love it. And defined my cheeks so nicely. So y'all, there is our bronzer. Pretty good, pretty nice. What y'all think? All right. So fun fact, I do still have my all over face powder. This also is a matte. Like I said, this is a matte pressed powder, and you can very much still use a pressed powder. My powder that I used just so happened was a loose powder, and it's a baking powder, but I just feel comfortable a lot with using this, with using it. But this is still a matte powder, and I love it. Um, Now I'm going to, let's see, we have our blush. Now, Black Radiance definitely comes through with blushes that fit nicely for deeper shades and just darker shades, and I love it. And both of these, I will tell you, I've just in love with. These are the um, Artisan Color Baked Blushes by Black Radiance. This one on my right, I went looking for this particular shade because I knew that I wanted like a really nice brown texture, like, pout to my cheeks, and I could never find like a blush that would fit my skin tone. So Black Radiance came through, and I've had this for the longest, and it's a really nice like brown, and it is a baked blush, so these last pretty long. But I have not worn it so much here lately, but it's such a pretty color. And then this one here I found more recently, and it's a pretty plum like color, and I love it. So I am going to apply a little bit of that today. I'm going to take my little fluffy face brush here by Elf, and it had some product on it, so I'm just wiping that off onto my little towel here. Just going to go in, rub that in, and get enough of this on my brush. And I definitely don't want to use too much, so wipe a little bit off. I'm going to go right above that bronzer and just work that in. I'm going to blend it inward because I definitely want it to show all across. I want you to be able to see where my blush is placed. And definitely, y'all, wanted to acknowledge, I'm sorry of the noise that's going on outside. Y'all probably been hearing all kind of noises tonight, ambulance, police cars. I'm right next to a window, y'all, so I apologize. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. And the trick, though I know I'm good tonight, if you ever apply too much blush, a really good, nice trick is to go back in using like your powder brush or whatever brush you use to apply your powder, and just go over that area, and it will tone down that color. So, but tonight I'm good, but I just wanted to show you. So there's our blush. Got that. Now we're going to move on to some highlight so I can add that to this cheek. And I'm going into this Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. And I'm going to pick up this really pretty um, gold highlight. I love it. It is like the perfect gold color that I think is so nice on darker skin. So I'm taking my little small fluffy brush here and I'm going to apply that right on top of where I applied that blush. I'm not going to apply too much. Also to the tip of my nose. Such a pretty gold color. All right, we are good with the highlight. All right, now I'm gonna move on to, I want to finish off the eyes and just do a little bit of mascara. This is not black owned products, so I wanted to acknowledge that. These are drugstore though. Here recently, I've been using the L'Oreal Paris. This is their unlimited mascara, and this is in Black is Black. And I've been using a mascara primer. I also do wear false lashes. But I am definitely pro mascara. It's just because of these great lashes that I have. But I definitely have been learning how to use lashes more. So I've definitely been loving that. And I wanted to acknowledge that. I use a eyeshadow mascara primer because sometimes applying mascara can get a little messy for me. And I just feel like a primer really helps to control that. So the primer that I'm using is by Essence, and this is their Volume Booster Lash Primer. I have used one by L'Oreal as well. It just so happened was just one of the products that I've tried, and there was nothing wrong with it. But a primer is a primer, honestly, when it comes to like mascara primer. So both work really nice. As long as you have one, I really recommend using one because I just think they're really, really good. So I have my primer applied, and now I'm just going to apply a couple coats mascara. And so far, this mascara does give me some really good length and complements my lashes really well. It's not too clumpy. It's really good. And I like the wand on it. It's got that angle that I need. And if I need to get into my inner corner, it has the thinner kind of caves in. So I really do like that. Right. And then I'm moving on to just find a couple more. All right. I'm going to apply just a little bit on my bottom lashes, not too much, enough to give them love. All right, y'all. So, for the most part, the majority of the face is good to go. I'm now going to move on to my lips. I'm going to just line my lips using my favorite lip liner. This is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner, and it's in the shade Club Hopper. This is not a black owned product. Um, this is one of the small products that I said I would use. I'm going to line my lips. And I give myself usually a pretty thick outline, so don't mind me. Just how I like my liner to show up. All right, and now I'm going to go in using that Perfect Tone Matte Lip stick. This is the liquid lipstick by Black Radiance, and the shade that this is in is Doll Face. It's a nice, really pretty mauvey pink. So pretty. I'm just gonna apply that right over that liner. And did I mention it's creamy. It's very creamy. And this is a matte lipstick. So I'm going to let this matte down for a little bit. And while that is, I will just kind of show y'all the pigment and how well the Fenty Beauty um, Stunna lip paint shows up. It is so nice. So it comes like in this little jar. It is glass. And I think that is just like so good. Like the packaging is everything. And then the little applicator, it is just like, it's like a little, I believe like a doe foot little applicator. And it comes in like a shape that I believe really can help you outline your lips and apply the product really easily. So let me show you the pigment. I'm going to apply it somewhere I've not applied anything else. So it comes out really, so it does kind of come on like watery, like it's like a thin kind of layer, but it shows up really pigmented, like really red. You can see that, like really red. And the thing about this product, you don't have to use too much. The quality of it is really, really nice. And it lasts pretty long. It does dry down matte, so it's going to have to take its time with doing all of that. But I wanted to give y'all a close and personal. It looks just like paint. But yes, this is her Stunna Lip Paint in the shade it's called is Uncensored. So while that is drying down, we do have our lips matte now. So I am going to see, I can either leave it like this. I think it's really nice. But also I have my little Urban Nude lip gloss, which y'all know I told y'all about. So I'm just going to apply just a thin layer over this. Just a thin layer. That's good enough for me. I feel like I'm more so into wearing like lip gloss. It's the summertime. I don't know, like that's just the thing in the summer, but yeah. But you guys, this makeup is bomb. And here we have it. So this is what I have come to with the majority of these products being Black owned, or either Black influenced and created. And we came up with an amazing look. And I am just super satisfied. To be open and transparent, y'all, as much as I love this eyeshadow palette, this is my first time doing this look, and I'm just like, why haven't I done it before? But so I got a chance to do something new with y'all, and it came out really nice. And I hope that, this is something pretty easy that you all may be able to try even yourselves. And as you saw, I only used two shades to create that shadow look, and it came out like it did. So I hope that, yeah. But yes, you guys. Oh, here is our little matte, semi-matte. Still matted down. But I definitely appreciate y'all joining me tonight. I want to thank y'all so much. I know that, like I said, it's so important that we are finding ways and just showing up for each other, reaching out to each other, checking in, because definitely we need to, help sustain each other when we live in a, place where we often feel we don't matter. But we definitely do. Black lives always matter. We always did, and we always will. So I appreciate y'all for just joining me tonight. Now, I'm not going to just allow y'all to leave and not mention other things, but I know that I did talk about just kind of like what are some of the things that I'm doing to take care of myself. I do have just I want to share with y'all some other things, if y'all allow me, some other things that I have just been using to help with that self-care. So I do have a journal tonight that I wanted to talk about in particular because it was created by a Black, she is a Black author and podcaster. Her name is Alexandria L. And I found this journal that is by her, and it's called Today I Affirm. And it says it's a journal that nurtures self care. And so, because I brought up journaling, I had to talk about this particular journal just because it matters so much to me. And when I found out that it was created by one of us, I was like, yes. So I went out so much and just looked her up and found that out and found out she was a podcaster. She has an Instagram. I will find her Instagram real quick for y'all. But she's amazing. And it may just be Alex L. It probably is. Yes, her Instagram is Alex underscore L, and that's ALEEX underscore ELLE. She's amazing. I know she posts like a lot of inspirational quotes and thoughts and things like that on her Instagram. So she's amazing. I've used this journal for several months now, and it's just so amazing when you work through it. It kind of gives you like some prompted questions to kind of help you think and reflect. And then at the bottom, it has like a little space for you to declare something you affirm for the day. We go into it. Then it does have like a this and that kind of like section where you just kind of think about what are some things that you're depositing and what would you get from that. So this one says, I require, and then the succeeding quote is so you require whatever that is so that X, Y, and Z can take place in your life. So that's that one. And then at the end, you have a little section to write yourself a letter. And they are kind of like, they're guided. So you just kind of work through those guided prompts. And it's amazing. So that is one of my self-care things that I wanted to share with y'all. And I hope that that brings you joy. Um, but I have said so much and shown y'all so much, and I hope that y'all enjoyed this. I love us. I want us to be able to be here and know that we matter and not just, be here existing, but be here and showing up for each other, supporting each other. If we, feel that we need to go out and support Black owned businesses more, let's do that. And I showed y'all so many today. So here are ways that we can do that. But I will leave y'all with if you would let me, a departing prayer for healing. Once again, if prayer is not your thing, then I honor that and respect that. I will pray for those in particular that do want the prayer. And yeah, so just a prayer for healing, a prayer for our Black and Brown folks in particular that are hurting. And also, too, I recognize that we do have allies, folks that, understand us and are not just standing on the sidelines being like, yeah, you matter, but are also in the trenches with us and showing up for us and advocating for us. So I recognize them as well in this work that we are all a part of. So if you let me, I would definitely go before the Father and just, ask that we receive whatever it is that we need, and we can turn over our burdens. So, Father, in your mighty Son, Jesus Christ's name, Lord, I thank you, God, for this opportunity to come on such a, platform as this tonight and just give you the glory, to just be a part of this, to build community and be a part of community, and to shed some light on how we can support one another and how we can show up for each other. Dear Lord, I just thank you, God, that you are available for us always and that, God, even during this time, you have been ever present. You have shown up, Lord. You just filled us up, with so much that we are being deposited of, that we are being robbed of. And I'm thanking you, Lord, for just continuing to supply our needs and continuing to revive us from the troubles and the pain and the hurt that we are feeling in our lives. Lord, in this time particular right now, Lord, I know that you are seeing the troubles that we are facing in our world. Lord, I know that you are aware of what is going on, and it is nothing that you are oblivious to. Lord, you are all knowing, and God, you are omnipresent. Lord, you are everywhere, and you are all knowing of everything. So, Lord, I know that you are aware of these things, and I don't for one second doubt that you don't care. Lord, I know that you care. You are always caring about us. And as far as I'm concerned, Lord, you have showed us that we matter because, Lord, you created us and you've allowed us to live and breathe and do. And so, Lord, because of that, we honor you. Lord, we ask God, due to all of the violence and things that we have experienced in the pain because of that, Lord, that God, you find a way to, Lord, make things better, Lord, that you help us in that change and help us, in such a way that change comes about. And that God, we can, be filled up and receive what it is that we need from you as we are out doing that work, Lord. We know that, Lord, we can come to you and depend on you. But Lord, even your word says that faith without works is dead. And so, Lord, we can't just depend on you and think that it's going to work out without thinking that we don't have to put in the work, don't actually have to believe or any of that. But Lord, we are showing up and asking you, Lord, to help us, and whatever it is that we need. But also, Lord, we are thanking you because you have given us the tools and resources, to be able to do the work, and know how. And we just thank you, Lord. Lord God, we just also ask that you hear our hearts, in times that we don't have words, to say, in times that we, just want to, break down and, feel and allow our emotions to just be. Lord, we also ask that you hear those moments and that you hear our hearts in those moments, and that, God, you are patient and that you are gentle with us in those moments. And we thank you, God, for hearing our hearts. We thank you, God, for being available for us in that. And we just ask, Lord, that you just continue to just get whatever it is that you need out of our lives. So, Lord, that we can continue to do the work that you've called us to do. Lord, we thank you for the resources you've allowed us to have. Lord, we are asking, God, that you send down you send down your healing on our communities, Lord. You send down your protection over our young men and women, over all of us, Lord. Allow us to not feel the ways that we feel, God. We feel unsafe often in a world that, tells us more and more that we don't matter. But Lord, why is this so? We are asking, Lord, and we are just thanking you, God, because we know that you are hearing, Lord. And we just thank you for allowing us to just bring our burdens to you, Lord. We thank you. We praise you. Once again, we know that, Lord, you are aware, and we are just coming to you, Lord, pleading with you, asking you, Lord, that you hear our hearts and that you just continue to just accept every burden, that we give to you, because we don't want to carry these things by ourselves. But we appreciate you. We love you, God, and we thank you, Lord. I ask that, God, you hear our hearts once again, and that you tend to us in the way that we need. And it's in your mighty Son, Jesus Christ's name, that I pray. Thank you, Lord. Amen. All right. All right, y'all. Amen. So, loves, I appreciate y'all. Look, my eyes are adjusting with all of these lights and having them close. But I once again thank y'all for just joining me tonight. We almost went to 2 hours and y'all stuck in with me. Hope that I was not taking away y'all's time tonight, but I appreciate y'all. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that there was something to gain from this. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Black lives do matter. We always will. There is never a time that we should feel that we don't. I know that we often are met with messages that are saying contrary things to that, but understand that we matter and that no one can define who we are and our worth. Only God can. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, as y'all know, I always say, Lord willing, I will see y'all then. Bye, loves.